Myself, Mr. Amit Kusnale. Here we want to analyze a given portaframe by using stiffness method. First step is to find KDA of the structure. KDA comes out to be 2. So here theta B and theta C will be the unknown. Let us take theta B as D1 and theta C as D2. Next step is the assigning coordinates. So just we are going to assume direction of D1 and D2. Here both we are assumed clockwise. Next step is to draw a restraint structure. Restraint structure means just make all the joints as a fixed joints. Apply loading on the portaframe and we'll find the fixed end moments. Likewise, we have found out the fixed end moments. So just important thing is here in the column BD is subjected to a loading. So when the column is subjected to loading, you have to draw a deflected shape. As here B and D supports are the fixed, that's why the deflect shape, while drawing a deflect shape, I have drawn here a straight line. I have drawn a straight line, then I started drawing a curve. Now to get this type of deflect shape, I have to press over here. I have to press over here, that means I have to apply moment like this. I have to apply moment like this. I have to press over here, that means I have to apply moment like this. So here this moment comes out with anti-clockwise, that's why negative. Here the moment comes out with clockwise, that is positive. Show the fixed end moments in this diagram. Next, I have written here AD1L, action in the direction of D1 due to loading. Of course, this diagram is drawn because of loading. We have got all this moment existing because of only loading. So this is D1 is the first position. So action in the direction of D1. So just we'll take addition of all these three moments. So this is AD1L. AD2L means we consider second position. Second position is theta C. So at this position, just we consider a moment, that is AD2L. Now come to the next diagram. Apply D1. So D1 is at joint B. So just forcefully pick this joint B and rotate it in a clockwise direction. Just forcefully pick this joint B and rotate it in a clockwise direction. So because of rotation in a clockwise direction, this is going down, this is going on this side, and this portion is getting lifted up. So I have drawn this is a deflected shape because of application of D1. So this total diagram multiplied by D1. Now come to the magnitude of the moment. So to get theta equals to 1, I have to apply magnitude of moment 4EI upon L. And to a next joint, half of this moment is getting transferred with same sign. This is going clockwise, this is also clockwise. Of course, we have applied a clockwise moment at D1. That's why all this moment will be clockwise. This is applied moment is 4EI upon L. Half of this is getting transferred, half of this is getting transferred. Just here take care, here the column BD is having EI 2EI. Now apply D2. So D2 is nothing but theta C. Theta C we are treated as a clockwise. So forcefully pick this joint C and rotate it in a clockwise direction. Because of this rotation, we are getting this deflected shape. So to get theta equals to 1 at this position, this is the moment required to be applied, 4EI upon L, and half of it getting transferred to the next joint. So this is a C joint, this is a B joint. Okay, so next joint moment transferred will be, this will be MBC. Remember, I have drawn this moment on the right side of this B joint because of application of the D2 at joint C, only BC portion is getting affected. As only BC portion is getting affected, So show the moment is in only this region only. So this is the moment MCB. So this is the moment MBC. Don't show this moment on this side or this side. It will different. That is this. If you show this curve on this side, it will mean that this is MBA. If you show the curve on this side, it will mean that this is MBD. Okay. So show the moment over this side because only BC is getting affected. Now stiffness matrix is to be formed. For this, consider this diagram. So this is the B, that is first position. So first alphabet stands for the position. So this is the B, first position first. That's why I written 1. This is the second position. That's why I written first alphabet as a 2. Next, this total diagram is drawn because of application of D1. That's why second alphabet is 1 1. So first alphabet represent the position, second alphabet represent the because of. This diagram is drawn because of 1. That's why second alphabet is 1. Now next, again first alphabet stand for position, second stand for because of. This total diagram is drawn because of application of 2. That's why second alphabet will be equal to 2. This is the first position. That's why first all right here first, and this is second position. That's why first alphabet will be 2. Remember, this alphabet is nothing but first alphabet represents position, second alphabet represent because of. So this diagram is drawn because of application of D2. That's why second alphabet always for this diagram will be 2. So this is first position. That's why I written 1. This is second position. That's why I written here 2. Now we have got the stiffness matrix. After that, come to the unknowns. So unknown is theta B. So that's why I consider joint B. So at joint B, write this equation. So just put the values. We are getting equation 1. Again, second unknown is joint C. This is the equation for joint C. Put the values over this equation. You will get the second equation. Solve 1 and 2 equations simultaneously. You will get D1 and D2. Now again, if I consider that some students are not able to write the stiffness matrix, or they have forgotten this equation, then still they can write this next step, that is this equation, this line they can write, and after writing this, of course they can get this 2 equation, and of course by getting 2 equations they can get D1 and D2. So now how to write this line? For that, consider these 3 diagrams, that is restraint structure, application of D1 and application of D2. So now we are going to consider joint B. So whatever the moment existing at joint B, writing that means we are writing that equation. So in this diagram, just we will consider joint B. So just we'll take addition of these 3 moments. These 3 moments are acting at joint B. So consider these 3 moments plus this is joint B. Again at joint B 3 moments are acting. Just take addition of these 3 moments multiplied by D1 plus this moment multiplied by D2. We'll get that equation. So we are getting this equation. So of course from this we can write this. So you are getting first equation. Likewise you can get second equation. Solve these 2 equations simultaneously. Get the values of D1 and D2. After getting values of D1 and D2, next task is to get moments at every joint. So to write this, again we have to go for that 3 diagrams. So I'm going to find out MAB. Now to find MAB, so this is MAB, this is going anti-clockwise, that's why taken as minus 40. Here there is a clockwise, so plus EI upon 2. Remember, this total diagram is multiplied by D1, so EI by 2 multiplied by D1. Next, at this joint there is no any moment. Next, we'll go for calculation of MBA. To write this, again we'll go for the 3 diagrams. In this diagram, this is MBA, that is plus 40. This is MBA, that is EI multiplied by D1. In this diagram, there is no BA. Next, come to the MBC. This is MBC, that is going anti-clockwise, that's why minus 11.25. Next, this is MBC 1.33 EI, of course it is multiplied by D1. This is MBC multiplied by D2. Next, we'll go for finding MCB. Of course, we are not required to find MCB as joint C is a end hinge support, so that's why moment at that joint will be equal to directly 0. After getting moments, just draw a diagram like this, show curves like this at every joint. Remember, you have to show the curves in this fashion only. Next, show the directions, that is clockwise or anti-clockwise. Here we have got MAB as minus, that is anti-clockwise, we show the anti-clockwise movement. MBA we have got positive, that is clockwise. BC we have got negative, that is anti-clockwise. CB, there is no existence of CB, movement is 0. We have got BD as minus, that's why anti-clockwise. So now, of course, just for beam, observe, just we consider this as a baseline. So these arrows are below baseline, that's why take it as negative, that is hogging bending movement. So first of all, draw a free BMD and then overlap on it a support BMD. Likewise, you can draw a BMD. To draw BMD for a column, you can use this trick. So here just MBD is going in a anti-clockwise direction, so this is the moment, and this is pushing on this side anti-clockwise, so it will move like this. So that's why I've drawn a diagram on this side. Next, again put this straight. Next, this moment is MDB, so MDB is pushing on this side, that's why I've drawn a diagram on this side, simple. So this is the complete bending moment diagram.